Hey guys, welcome back to Soul Space, the space to free your soul regarding adventure biking, motorcycles, and other cool garage hacks. I did an oil change today on the KTM790R, year 2020. And I thought I wanted to make this video to clarify some things. I've seen a lot of people also getting their 890s and deciding what kinds of skid plates to buy. And whether they'll fit a center stand or whether you can change the oil without having to remove the skid plate. Well, I have the AXP skid plate, also I believe rebranded for Moose, under Moose now. So if you are thinking about a black or orange AXP or Moose skid plate for your 790 or 890 Adventure R, yes, you can change the oil and filter without removing the plate. I will show you how that is done and things you want to look out for on the rest of it. Stick around. Okay, some people have been asking me if the AXP bash plate, even though it says that, or some people claim that you can't change the oil with the AXP bash plate on a KTM 790, it's not that hard. I do a lot of my work with, as much as I can, with the tools that I have on the bike for the road, so I can always find out if I'm missing something or need to adjust my tools. So long story short, I have a 1/2 inch or roughly a 13 millimeter in my kit, specifically for a few items on this bike. And the strainers, these ones here, happen to be that odd size. The rest of the bike, very few items on the bike are 13. So I have this Motion Pro kit, and I used it like this. It's really compact. There's a lot of little bits and pieces, an 8 millimeter, you know, and a 12, and yada yada. And so I have an extension here for what's meant for the suspension, and if I wedge it under in this area, I can, you see that the brace actually flexes down just enough, and I'm able to get everything by just like that. This is the only one I really need to flex for. This one just comes out with a little, just raise it when it comes out a little bit. No issues here. Other little hack I'm going to show you is, you know, you can buy these tools to pull the oil filter out. This can opener on a Leatherman or any can opener along that shape works really well. To kind of come in at an angle, it's just kind of a wedge, and it grabs it. It's without an issue. I mean, I've heard, you know, I've seen so many complaints about, oh, I can't get it out, and they have a screw-in tool. I'm telling you, something simple like this that you carry with you all the time can do the job so easily. So let's go ahead and pull this out, and you'll see that it kind of comes into the plate here, but it's not that big of an issue because by the time it gets to this area, it's ever so close, just a little bend, ever so little, just a couple millimeters, and we're in the clear. So I'll bring it down here, let it drain. Okay, I have a mechanic's pencil magnet, or a reach magnet, I guess. So let's take a look. As I wiped it down, I'm going to slide this in. This is I believe this is the first chamber, and then the second, and the third. Oof, it's a strong one. So join me, first time I've done this, and see what we can pull out. Slide it right up in there. Move it around. Okay. I'm pretty pleased. I don't feel any grit on my fingers. I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's try the next one. I believe, I'd have to check, but I believe these are the first chambers. Right up in there, a little bit of a wiggle, so you can get whatever happens to be sitting along the bottom that didn't get into the cage. Yeah, pretty good. I don't really feel anything, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Now we're going to look at the actual, these, I don't really know what they're called, but there's a magnet in here, right in this little area, and then there's a screen. So we're going to take a look-see. All right, so I've cleaned the filters, the magnetic filters, and so here you can see how this AXP plate just is ever so little not going to let this pass. So we just take a little helper, and again, this piece here came with my kit. It doesn't take much, just a flex. That's all it is, and she's beyond. It's done. It's all it's going to take. And then just ever so little, there's 2 or 3 little O-rings. It just needs to just sort of pop. So we'll just do this one, and then finish up with that one there. It's a great idea to preload the oil filter. And so we've got ourselves the Motorex 4T 1050. And I don't want to spill a lot of this, but we're just going to load this up till it until it starts to purge, and then I'll just slip it in and try not to waste much. Okay. Oops. Okay, so it's loaded. Just slide it in and push it up into place. Let's just get it started here. Get the seal to hold it in and torque it. Torque spec for this is 6 Newton meters. But if you're out in the field, it's a good lesson to know what these light, it's really slippery, what these light torques feel like. Okay, 6 Newton meters. That's it, not much at all. So you get used to that feel. Yep. Not much at all. Okay, small hack for 790 owners. I don't know if the 890 is like this, but there's a problem with their cap, with the square corners, that when you try to unscrew it, it hits against the gas tank. Some people have said, oh, you know, loosen the mounts, raise the tank, blah, blah, blah. It's much easier to just nip the corners off. So when it rotates around, those corners don't actually hit on the edge of the tank. So you can see it would just clear it like that as it goes around. The holes to mount the tank are a little oblong, so there's some flexibility to push the tank up and down. I know that if I grab the bottom of it a little bit and give it a little shove up, I can slip this by without a problem if it settles after a ride. All right, it's always a good idea to thoroughly clean the inside of your funnel. You spray it with a little contact cleaner and run a rag down through it. This one looks pretty good. I get these at Harbor Freight. It's like a 4-pack, and this particular one is the length we need to get around this tank area. I don't know what I'd do on the road. I'd have to use a tin foil rolled into a cone. This bike holds 3 quarts of oil. I put it on a block stand here so that the bike is almost perfectly vertical so that I can actually see the sight glass earlier on. Then I'll tip it towards me at the last second to get the final reading. All right, here we go. Okay, we put in 3 quarts of oil, and you see we're about exactly half on center balance. I held the bike perfectly balanced in my hands, and it's pretty close to that. Now it's sitting back on the center stand, or the my stand. So that looks pretty good. Now we'll put the cap on. I hope this video was helpful for you if you have a 790 and have been curious about getting the AXP badge plate and whether you can do an oil change without removing the plate. Once again, like and subscribe so I can keep bringing you more material like this. Cheers, and thank you once again.